Played a show with Power Man 5000, and also wrecked my car the same night too.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Hey, so today I have my bandmate and good friend Kracker, Christian Krucker, but you've had that nickname for a long time.
Since I was 16 years old.
Okay. He's in Avow with me. He's been in Blood Coven for how many years now?
5.
5. And Blood Coven's been around since what, 90?
93.
Okay. And you were in Merciless Reign?
Yes, from 2011 to 2019. So.
And I'm sure there's plenty of others you could list off.
Mithrius for about a good 2 or 3 years. What was that, between 2012 and 2014? And one was really short lived, called Rogue Arsenal. That's pretty much it.
Okay. And you've done some fill-in stuff too, right? Like
well, originally Val was kind of a fill-in.
Yeah. We stole ya. What was the band you just did?
Mordant Red.
Mordant, yes, with the mask and
as the interdimensional rapist. Don't know.
metal.
And that's always fun. Like uh, being asked to fill in for a band, and you're a part of that band for maybe 48 hours. And there's something about the stress of learning a set in a short period of time, and being able to go out and do it, and sometimes maybe flub a couple parts here and there, or flawlessly.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I think that's truly the mark of a good musician, though. I've been told it, and I've convinced myself this. But like, if you can, you have a little mistake or a big mistake and play through it, or you're good.
Yeah.
I mean, the goal is to get up and play flawlessly every night and not have something impact you, but it's not reality. So, you pretty much play every instrument for a band: bass, guitar, drums.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
I mean, probably drums the most I play. So or I play drums the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I dabble on guitar, and I've got like 12, 13 guitars or whatever, but I don't like really change the tuning on them. So I'm always, so I've got one maybe for every major tuning.
That's cool.
Just because I don't like adjusting with the tuning, and then it gets your intonation out of whack. So
Are you wanting to play in a band with like guitar or bass or any of the other instruments?
I would like to at some point. I think it would be fun at some point.
What do you think it's harder to like like you like I know you can learn drums, pick them up really quick for a band, but like what about guitar or bass? Do you pick it up as
It takes a lot of practice to learn. One small riff or lick or something like that. It takes, for me, it takes longer to learn that than like sitting behind the drum kit. So
do you think that has to do with like the way you have to get to know a song on the strings first?
well, with drums, you get a little bit more. You get a little more leeway, behind the drum kit, because you're, like, say, counting with your lead hand or whatever, and you can kind of, I don't know, adjust here or there where the spot you need to be to lock in with the guitars or bass. So.
And how long have you been playing in bands? Has it always been drums?
Uh, I played bass in the very first band called Loss of Thoughts. That was what, also short-lived, 2004 or 2003 to the beginning of 2004, and played a show with Power Man 5000, and also wrecked my car the same night too.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I took out or there was a steel pole that wasn't colored or painted yellow or anything, and I accidentally hit it. It was kind of embarrassing, but
Happened.
it happens. So
Glad you're
luckily,
okay.
yeah. I mean, it was right around the corner of Peabody's,
Uh,
or yeah, it was at Peabody. So
yeah, that was the place to be, especially in
yeah,
like 2004.
actually have to pull up the one picture of that show too, where I'm playing my mom's old 1978 Fender cream colored bass, and a was wearing a Cradle of Filth t-shirt.
That's awesome.
So
Did she play bass?
yeah, she did for a little bit. She bought the bass actually at Woodsy's. It went over to Germany with her, and then
Came back.
brought she when she lived over there for a little bit, and then brought it back.
Wait,
So
you were actually born in Germany. Right.
yes, I was born in Kaiserslautern, Germany.
Very cool.
So
Did you
yeah.
ever hope to get back there, or have you been
Oh
back
yeah,
there?
been luckily with my job, been able to go back twice so far and visit my aunt. So yeah, I worked for a company that builds spiral conveyors, and yeah, I've been over to the Netherlands twice to learn how to build machines, and then went over to Romania once just to assist. So
Pretty sweet. I
yeah,
remember you showing me the Romanian money,
yeah.
which is beautiful. I think like all money outside of the United States is like way prettier, especially over in like Europe and
Hmm. And it's all different sizes for somebody who's hard of see or is blind. They have different sizes of
yeah,
the euro, and same thing with the Romanian, or their dollar is called the League. So
yeah, and them being the vibrant color. I mean, one, if you're in the dark and you're trying to figure out what
yeah.
you're paying someone, that's helpful. But
Hmm.
having the bright colors jump out at you too, you're not like showing all the money you have. It's smart. Things things are quite efficient over there compared to
Yeah.
here. I think we only win in like one department, and that's our love for air conditioning.
Yeah.
um, and not to like switch or like dampen the mood, but something you and I have talked about a lot, and I think like a lot of people, well, the handful of people that watch this, a lot of musicians do struggle with mental illness, and one of your projects kind of came to an abrupt halt when your best friend,
Yeah, Bill
yeah,
Bootstrap Bill Paxton. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
so yeah, he was the front man and guitarist for Merciless Rain. Yeah, he committed suicide um, in June of 2019.
Yeah, from what like I mean, he wasn't just like your bandmate, he was your close friend.
Yeah,
And like going through that though, like how did you cope? Like were you able to do music following that? Um
not for about 6 months. You know, when that happened, I don't know. I pretty much shut down. Yeah, for about 6 months, and I really didn't do too much. In what about September of that year, I contacted Dan Saladin because at the from the time I saw him between Bill's funeral and we actually brought up maybe me possibly joining Blood Coven. We just met up with each other one day, and we were just like, now what? Bill was the drummer for Blood Coven at the time, and and so yeah, I lost my guitarist or no, I lost my guitarist and frontman, and Dan lost the
drummer.
his drummer in Blood Coven. So it kind of only made sense that hey, how would you feel about jamming sometime? And honestly, I think if it wasn't for Dan, I probably would have, you know, or maybe for those circumstances too, I probably would have taken all my gear and probably torched it or got rid of it, because I was so destroyed and down in the dumps, and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't really cope with it. It took about 6 months to really finally kind of snap back to reality. And I just I developed the unhealthy habits of just coming right home from work and pretty much just falling asleep in the recliner, still dirty from work. I would get up eventually and then take care of myself and clean up, and then and then just reset, go back to work, and, the next day, come back home, fall asleep.
Depression, and well,
I guess
functional
so.
depression,
Uh,
because there's been like, well, research, people talk about it. It's like, you don't really get adequate time to grieve. You have to keep living your life. And I think that's
yeah,
one of the ways that we kind of like shove we're conditioned
yeah.
to push those emotions down. And it's, it's
Well,
exhausting. You got
uh,
to go work all day and dealing with that much emotionally. That's very understandable that you would come home and just like fall asleep.
and also during that time too, my dad was having a lot of complications with diabetes. They he went through many surgeries and amputations, and so I kind of that was also kind of a distraction too, but at the same time not. So so leading into 2020, of course, the pandemic happened. So and so the again, things came to a halt then. So then I mean, Dan and I, we started practicing with playing the Blood Coven songs, and then eventually we came up with a set, and yeah, we recruited another guitarist, and about what, second or third or fourth bass player later. So and then in the last year we recorded a 5-song EP.
Yeah. How's when do you guys have a date for that yet, or
Not yet, no. So
eventually, if not
yeah,
sooner?
maybe
um,
maybe mid October. I don't know.
that's really cool. I don't think I fully understood that part of the history, like you and Dan coming together,
Yeah.
like that was the
Again, like
scenario.
if like the conversation we had though too was like, look, he's so, like, look, dude, I'm 50 years old and I ain't stopping. And I think
That sounds like Dan.
like a huge like relief started to you know like fall off my shoulders at the time too. Like, hey, maybe there's hope. You know,
Yeah,
but for a while it was I don't know, I still wasn't fully, I don't know, fully prepared to really. I mean, even though we practiced and stuff like that, but really to make music fun again, and that's the most important part. That really didn't. It took a couple of years to really kind of snap back to reality on that too. It's like, okay, yeah, this is after about maybe what, the third year being in Blood Coven, it's like, okay, this is fun again.
and was that more because of the loss that you were still facing that like each time, or was
Uh,
it just
I'm not sure. I mean, I just like music just wasn't fun for a while. Just I had to learn how to love music again. It feels like had to go from the ground up again. Like, I stopped completely going to shows and and going out, and it's just like, okay, priority one, getting back behind the drum kit.
yeah?
Can I, do I want to continue to play? And that was the biggest question. And so yeah,
I'm glad you stuck with it. Are you glad now that you stuck
yeah,
with
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I will say too, when, like I've been told before, like that's a symptom of depression
yeah.
is when I'm struggling to do the things I love to do. I'm struggling to find joy with it, not even just do it, but to find, like you said, joy with what you're doing. Is there something like going through everything with Bill and how you and Dan kind of came out of it? Is there things that you wish more people, I mean, everywhere, but like specifically the music scene, playing in bands, um, or even the industry around it? Do you think that there's more that can be done?
I think guys, yeah, they need to talk more to to somebody, whether if it's a therapist, best friend, even sometimes even a stranger might listen too,
Yeah.
and
Do you think
uh,
that that's a bigger part, like dude relationships? It's more surface level where you guys
um,
don't talk about as much, like with as much depth, or
I think so, but it's
I,
the hard part. You can't really get into you can't really get into somebody's head unless if you talk,
yeah,
or at least listening. Sometimes listening is the best therapy, just to, somebody talking, spilling their guts or whatever, and just talking, But I felt like at the time too, um, and after Bill's passing, my dad and the only time I really listened to my dad at all with any advice he ever really gave me was his advice was, hey, don't drink, don't indulge, don't. And I think had I done that, I would have probably destroyed myself, you know, and the things around me and everything that I built, built around me too,
yeah.
you know.
I'm glad you made that choice as well. I mean, drinking, it's like alcoholism is so normalized in our culture. It's insane. But I'm glad that you made that choice for yourself
Yeah.
because, yeah, it probably would have looked a lot different when you're
For
turning to a substance to numb yourself
I mean,
first.
it was what, for at least 6 months, and then I had a job in Texas somewhere, and hey, to celebrate, yeah, we knocked back a few beers after that, But
Yeah.
other than that, I really don't really even drink that much,
No, you don't, especially compared to some of your bandmates. Have you noticed an improvement? Like since you've made some tweaks, got more rest, prioritize some of yourself, like have you noticed an improvement in your ability to reach your goals? Like whether that's making another album, finishing your studio.
Yeah, yeah. I have another property down in Canton where I've been slowly building a studio. So far, the sound booth has been built. Have some insulation left to do, and then paint, sand the floors, and come up with some sort of or put the bathroom and kitchen together too. So I'm hoping by beginning of next year, I'll probably do finish the rest of it throughout the winter time. Like to really, start recording out of there too. Um,
Yeah, it's coming along from the pictures I've
yeah.
seen. Um, so outside of like playing, trying to do a home studio, working, the no one cares about that. Kidding.
Hmm.
But you also do NYDM.
Yes, the
Yeah,
New York Death Militia.
yeah.
Are I am president of the Ohio chapter, and we put together charity events. Right now, it's just been once a year, but we put on a toy drive every year. This year's is going to be November 14th
At Maple Grove.
at the Maple Grove. Bands yet to be announced. I've been really slacking, with August, September, October, November, and so I got
You
like three
still got a
months.
little time.
Yeah,
Um, and like what's I've also noticed like a lot of the people in that organization, they really prioritize going out to shows and supporting bands, which I think is much needed.
yeah. Well, of course, or
Yeah, but is that like a primary?
yeah, primary goal is to help out others, and
So, and you've been going to shows since you were a teenager. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Have you noticed a difference in turnout at shows over the years?
Uh, I think it just depends on if it's a weekday or a weeknight. Usually, I mean, obviously weeknights are going to be or weekends are going to be better,
Yeah,
but noticed a lot of the younger crowds are coming out too.
yeah.
And let's see, what was that?
Well, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just no, it's okay. I was just going into because like talking about how they came out to shows and stuff. So that was kind of my ideas, and we'd talk a little bit more about like the more people go to shows back in the
Yeah, the
day.
weekends are more, obviously more packed with people. A lot of the younger crowds. Um,
Do you think
how can
like like compared to like the early 2000s, do you think there was more people out on a weeknight show than today, or do you think it's pretty much unchanged? Hard to say.
I think it's hard to say for me because I know when I go to a show, I really concentrate on who's playing.
Yeah. I worry about turnout sometimes
And
just because I don't know how the venues are going to keep up. And I've watched so many venues from the time I was a teenager till now
yeah,
just like completely go under, that it's like going around Kent, for example, like what is left? I mean, now it's great that we have the Zephyr, and I mean, the Outpost
hmm
still exists
there's a really awesome new club called the Afterlife.
in Akron. I've heard
Yeah,
about it. I've not been out there yet.
should go out there. But the girl saw us at the last or the one Zephyr show before.
Hmm.
She's Dave's girlfriend, and Dave was introducing me to her. He's like, and Dave was, yeah, what bands do you play? Blood Coven, Aval, and when I said Aval, she started freaking out like, oh my god, Aval, yeah, oh, we gotta get you guys up here sometime. So yeah, she's a real big fan, and
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
when I was at or went out to the van and I had a couple koozies or whatever,
Aw.
and gave her one. So
I need to get rid of those. No, that's cool. I want to play there. We haven't played Akron in a while. But that's awesome. And No Class, of course, is
yeah,
a staple, but that's in Cleveland. It's just watching all these venues go in and out. Akron's had a few go in and out. It seems like Vortex has been around for a little while now. I don't get out there much anymore, but Empire, which was by that like came and went.
yeah, that shut down.
Yeah, but they had some good shows. The last thing I think I saw there was Narcotic Wasteland with, yeah, I think that was. But yeah, that's just where I worry about turnout sometimes,
Hmm.
especially on like weeknight shows. And I want to say like it's gotten worse, but at the same time, I was definitely at shows in the early 2000s where the turnout was less than ideal,
Yeah,
especially on a weeknight. So, do you have any insights as to why? I mean, because you get out to shows and you work like a dog, but I'm sure there's more shows that you would get to.
yeah. If I had more time, yes. I mean, and anytime I go out, I at least try to pick up something from one of the local bands or whatever, whether it's a CD, shirt, any way I can support too.
Okay, so and lastly, I think we can just wrap it up with a little self promotion
Yeah,
because by the time,
selfish promotion. Yeah,
yeah, on Wednesday, August 27th, you can tell them the rest.
we have a show with Conan at the West Side Bowl
Yes, so
on what
Wednesday, August 27th,
Wednesday, August 27th.
with Mares of Thrace and Crop. Their Instagram is Legalized Crop, but I believe the band is just called Crop. So,
And then I'll be playing a show with Blood Coven on Friday in Brooklyn.
oh shit,
So
we got to pump that too. Yeah, all
yeah,
my New York friends.
yeah,
Oh wait, I guess Brooklyn's a little
yeah.
further than my Rochester friends. That's a bet. But I know.
And that's what Rage of Armageddon. What with who's playing that? Hellstar's playing on Friday with was that, Asheron, uh, the band Bitch, and Blood Coven, and what Saturdays with Deceased,
Nice.
and a couple of others, and what
Nice.
Jag Panzer I think on Saturday. So
Stacked lineup.
yeah,
Yeah, hell yeah.
curfew's at like 10.
Oh, so
Strange.
it'll be an early show.
Early show. So
Brooklyn for you, I
yeah,
guess. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'll be sure to put a link with Cracker's projects and, you know, subscribe and do all that bullshit so you can keep getting notifications about these wonderful videos.
thank you.